What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of 8th Arrow Whispering. And on today's episode, we are going to be finishing up Bleacher Reports' top 100 best NBA players ever. We did 100 through 30 in the first video in part 1, so today we will be doing 29 through number 1. And who will be in the top 10, and who will be ranked number 1? Will it be LeBron James or Michael Jordan? I, for one, would probably put Michael Jordan there, but I don't know what they would say, and I don't know what you guys would say. So you let me know down in the comments who your number 1 NBA player of all time is. Before we get into that, I just wanted to take a minute and discuss the channel a little bit. I really appreciate everyone who's been commenting on my videos and liking my videos and just watching my videos in general. There's been a little bit more traffic as of late and a steady increase in my subscribers, and my goal for this year is to reach 500 subscribers, and I'm currently at 210 as I'm recording this. So I really appreciate everyone who's been liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I would love for that to continue. So please, if you know of others who enjoy ASMR, I'd love for you to share my content with them. If you guys have any suggestions of other things you'd like to see me do, please let me know down in the comments. I try to read them all and listen to what you guys enjoy and do that. And I think I'm going to try to do some live content here shortly. I'm just trying to figure out what that's going to look like, because I'm still not sure, and maybe you guys know, and if you do, please let me know, but how to do a live video, but also share my screen, so I could do like a live mock draft, or something similar to that, or what I'm doing now, you know, to where you guys can see what I'm doing on the screen, as well as me, but I don't know necessarily how to do that, so if you guys know, please let me know. I've also thought about the idea of starting a book club with y'all, and once a week I get on here and either read y'all's comments in regards to the book, and we just discuss the book together, or I read a chapter of the book as ASMR. That could be good. Yeah, I don't know, but I might do a live video here shortly, and see how I can engage with you guys in that way. But yeah, just brainstorming right now. I'm just trying to be more consistent in posting and everything. So, yeah, just wanted to say that. But I really appreciate everyone who's, like I said, everyone who's commenting, liking, and watching my videos. It all means a lot, and I appreciate it. So let's keep this thing going, and let's jump into the top 100 best NBA players ever, and let's find out who's number 29. I have an idea of who I'd like to see in the top 10, but I don't know if it's gonna be who's gonna make it and who won't. But John Stockton comes in at 29. John Stockton at 29. So he was a 10-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA, 5-time All-Defensive, 9-time Assist Champion, 2-time Steal Champion, but he never got a championship in his time in the NBA. He played 19 seasons. Wow, he played quite a while. John Stockton owns one of the NBA's least breakable records, and least breakable may be putting it charitably. In a hair under 2 decades, Stockton amassed 15,806 total assists. The next closest player to him is Chris Paul with 12,499. Golly. How many assists did he average? He averaged 10.5 assists per game. Okay. That 3,307 time difference is at least 3 seasons worth of in your prime playmaking. Given that CP3 will be entering year 20 in 2025-2026 selections while standing 6'1" is unfathomable. Mookie, Blaylock, 6. Norm Van Leer, 8, and CP3 himself, 9, are the only players 6'3" or shorter with more such selections. That's pretty incredible. I didn't realize John Stockton was that great of an assist guy. So that's pretty awesome. Scottie Pippen coming in at 28. Scottie Pippen at 28. 6-time champion, 7-time All-NBA, 7-time All-Star, 10-time All-Defensive, 1 steals title. Played 17 seasons. Perhaps the greatest superstar sidekick of the modern era, Pippen is the best remembered as Robin to Michael Jordan's Batman during the Chicago Bulls dynasty run. The rangy 6'8" forward had legitimate point guard skills as a passer and on-court thinker, but he was also the most ferocious on and off-ball perimeter defensive. On and off-ball perimeter defender of his era. Everyone of a certain age knows the iconic footage of Pippen putting the full court clamps on Magic Johnson in Game 2 of the 1991 Finals. When MJ took 2 years off, Pippen showed he could lead a team on his own, averaging a combined 21.7 points, 8.4 rebounds, and 5.4 assists while finishing 3rd in the NBA in box plus minus during that 2-year stretch. Yeah, I mean the Bulls didn't really fall off in Jordan's absence. From my understanding, what was it, The Last Dance, I believe. Now they never won a championship, but they made playoff runs in his absence. You correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's the case. So yeah, they made deep playoff runs without Jordan, thanks to a lot to Pippen. 27, we have Isaiah Thomas, 2-time champion, 1-time Finals MVP, 12-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, 1-time assist champion. Total of 13 seasons. 26, Elgin Baylor. 25, Charles Barkley. 1-time MVP. I didn't realize he had won an MVP. 11-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA, 1-time rebound champion. It says Charles Barkley resume feels incomplete without a title. Over time, it feels like the absence of one has eroded his standing in these all-time discussions. And yet you don't win an MVP award during Michael Jordan's prime, 1992 to 93, by some fluke. Barkley was a superstar with one of the most well-rounded games to ever grace the hardwood. The range of his skill set is reflected in the list of contemporary players for whom he's used as a comparison. Blake Griffin, Zion Williamson, Draymond Green, Julius Randle. They have all been considered, to some degree, facsimiles of Barkley. Facsimiles of Barkley. I don't know. Heck, even the Chuck Stars intangibles are versatile. His basketball reference page is inundated with what might be a record number of nicknames, and he can be first and foremost associated with any of the franchises he's suited up for: the Philadelphia 76ers, Phoenix Suns, and Houston Rockets. Coming in at 24, we have Giannis Antetokounmpo. one-time champion, two-time MVP, one-time Finals MVP, one-time Defensive Player of the Year, 8-time All-NBA, 9-time All-Star, 5-time All-Defensive, and Most Improved Player. At 24, yeah, I'm not mad about that. I'm a big Giannis fan. I respect that Giannis is staying in Milwaukee, and I really hope he gets another championship there because I respect his loyalty. I just hope the team does right by him and builds around him, even though I don't think they really have the assets to do that. And I don't think the Miles Turner signing really moves the needle for Milwaukee. And so unfortunately I just don't foresee them being able to, I don't know, I think they need one more piece around him to be able to pull off a championship run. But I really hope he gets another championship in Milwaukee. And if he leaves Milwaukee, I hope it's to, I don't know, I'd prefer him to just stay in Milwaukee and be able to build around him. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. Dwayne Wade at number 23. That's fair. He's a 3-time champion, 1-time Finals MVP, 8-time All-NBA, 13-time All-Star, 3-time All-Defensive, 1-time scoring title. He averaged 22 points per game, 4.7 rebounds per game, 5.4 assists per game, 1.5 steals per game, 0.8 blocks per game. He had a 48% field goal percentage and averaged 29.3 3-point percentage, playing a total of 16 seasons. It says Wade may be best remembered as LeBron James' second option on a couple of title teams with the Miami Heat, but that perception obscures his dominant work during a 2006 title run, after which he won Finals MVP, 7 top 10 finishes for MVP, a scoring title in 2009, and some of the best shot blocking numbers for a guard in league history. Still somehow failed to capture how impactful Wade's athleticism, foul drawing craft, and length made him during a peak stretch that spanned from 2005 to 2013. Wade had the third highest box plus minus in the NBA during that run, behind James and Chris Paul, but ahead of Duncan, Bryant, Nowitzki, and Garnett. I'm not mad about his ranking here. Number 22, we have Karl Malone, who was a 2-time MVP, 14-time All-Star, 14-time All-NBA, and 4-time All-Defensive. Moses Malone at 21, 1-time champion, 3-time MVP, 1-time Finals MVP, 8-time All-NBA, 13-time All-Star, 2-time All-Defensive, and 6 rebounding titles. Number 20, we have Julius Erving. What a dope afro and goatee. I love that combo. I just think it looks so cool. He was a 1-time NBA champion, 2-time ABA champion, 4-time MVP, 1-time NBA, 3-time ABA, 16-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA, 5-time All-ABA, 1-time All-Defensive. Averaged 24.2 points per game, 8.5 rebounds per game, 4.2 assists per game, 2 steals per game, 1.7 blocks per game, and he had averaged a 50.6 field goal percentage. The Julius Erving resume looks ridiculous when combining his body of work in the ABA and NBA. He is one of 9 players to clear 30,000 points and one of just 6 players with at least 4 MVP awards, joining Kareem AbdulJabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and Bill Russell. A veritable who's who of top 10 all-time candidates. Decades upon decades later, Dr. J highlights still pop. The one-handed finishes are crafty and seemingly feature accomplishing enough in each of them to earn a Hall of Fame nod, even if he hadn't played in the other. Yeah. 19, David Robinson. 18, we have Dirk Nowitzki. Interesting. Okay, one-time champion, one-time MVP, one-time finals MVP, 14-time All-Star, 12-time All-NBA. He won the finals in 2011 against the Heat. I went back and rewatched a documentary about that finals run, really just that whole season for the Mavericks. And it was really fun to watch. I remember at the time, I was mad they won because I was a Heat fan. I was a LeBron fan at the time. Yeah, really wanted them to win. However, they didn't. But looking back now, just at that incredible run by Dallas, and just seeing the behind the scenes and everything that led up to that season, and all the obstacles they overcame in that season. Now, every team overcomes obstacles that we don't know about in a season, but it was just really cool to watch, and I'm really glad they won that. They got that 2011 title. Yeah, and just his fadeaway jump shot was incredible. It was awesome watching. Yeah, his signature fadeaway jump shot, just so fun. Nikola Jokic. Yeah, that's fair. I could even see him being a little lower than this. Just how dominant he is. I think he should have won this year's MVP as well. But I also understand SGA is overdue for one, and I do think Nikola had better stats, a better stat line this season, and deserved it, but I can see why they gave it to SGA. Now if SGA is ranked above him, I'll be surprised, and I don't think he should be. So we'll see if they have him even on here. But one-time champion, three-time MVP, one-time Finals MVP, seven-time All-Star, six-time All-NBA. At 16, we have Kevin Garnett. One-time champion. He only won one championship. Interesting. I thought the Celtics won more than that with him. But a one-time champion, one-time MVP, one-time Defensive Player of the Year, 9-time All-NBA, 15-time All-Star, 12-time defensive All-Defense, and 4 rebounding titles. Defined by his relentless intensity and alpha-level defensive versatility, Garnett entered the league as the first high school player drafted since 1974. By his 4th season, he was a perennial MVP candidate and widely regarded as one of the top defensive players in the league. Though he slogged through over a decade of mostly rough years with the Minnesota Timberwolves, it was always clear that KG's game was built to be featured on a winner when he landed with the Boston Celtics for the 2007 and 8 season. He proved as much by securing his Defensive Player of the Year and championship ring. He led the league in rebounding 4 straight times from 2003 and 4 to 2006 and 7, and he remains the all-time leader in total defensive boards. Garnett and Olajuwon are the only players with at least 2,000 blocks and 1,800 steals for their careers. And KG has tied for the all-time lead with 9 all-defense first team honors. Garnett was good. I wouldn't put him above some of the guys he is above right now. I'd put Jokic above him, and yeah, there's a few guys I'd put above him. Kawhi Leonard I'd probably put above him. assist champion. At 13, we have Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was a 2-time champion, 1-time MVP, 2-time Finals MVP, 11-time All-NBA, 15-time All-Star, 4-time scoring champion, and Rookie of the Year. He's played 17 seasons. Wow, I didn't realize he's played so many seasons. Durant has a case as the greatest pure scorer in league history. Listed at 6'11", KD operates with a smooth perimeter game that most guards would envy. Capable of killing opponents from deep at the rim, but unequally gifted as a mid-range shooter. Durant is the only player to average at least 27 points for his career. Durant is the only player to average at least 27 points for his career while making at least 50% of his shots overall and 39% of his threes. Durant's inerrant career and failure to lead a team to a championship as a true alpha hurts his legacy, as does sharing an era with James, Curry, and Jokic. It's possible that KD could have taken the Thunder to the promised land if he had stayed put, and he probably left another championship or two on the table by departing Golden State when he did. None of that detracts from one of the most effective and efficient offensive careers the league has ever seen, and KD, who averaged 26.6 points on a 52.7/43.0/83.9 shooting split as a 36-year-old last season, is nowhere near finished. Yeah, I definitely think what they said, where not being able to failure to lead a team to the championship as a true alpha has definitely hurt his career. His stint with Brooklyn was a disaster. Phoenix wasn't much better. And now we'll see what happens with Houston. I personally would have liked to see him. Now, I like Golden State, so I was happy he went to Golden State, and it was fun watching him on Golden State. I think that was one of the best teams that I'll ever see. I think they were a better team than Miami, with LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh. I think this Golden State team was better, and it would be fun to see those two teams paired up against one another. Yeah, I think that's one of the best teams I'll ever see in my lifetime. And I think if he had stayed in Golden State, that would have been the best move for him in his career. And I think he, like this says, he would have had at least 2 more titles. But I can understand why he left. It just hasn't really worked out great for him, necessarily. But, alright. At 12, we have Hakeem Olajuwon. He was a 2-time champion, 1-time Finals MVP. 2-time champion, 1-time MVP, 2-time Finals MVP. 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 12-time All-NBA, 12-time All-Star, and 9-time All-Defensive. At 11, Kobe Bryant. What? Kobe Bryant outside of the top 10? That's ridiculous. There is no way Kobe Bryant should be outside of the top 10. Alright, let's read. 5-time champion, 1-time MVP, 2-time Finals MVP, 18-time All-Star, 15-time All-NBA, 12-time All-Defensive, 2-time scoring champion. Alright, Kobe Bryant's stats and superlatives speak for themselves. The 5 titles during his Los Angeles Lakers' only career are clearly impressive, but the longevity with which he maintained stardom deserves just as much praise. He is tied with Tim Duncan and Kareem AbdulJabbar for the second most All-NBA selections all time, trailing only LeBron James. There's a case to be made that Kobe is actually the most influential to ever set foot on the NBA's hardwood. His prime bisected with two different periods, the era in which mythology reigned supreme and the social media age, which broadened his exposure and brand, and by extension his legend. Older heads continue to worship at the altar of his maniacal work ethic. Contemporaries still cite him as a source of stylistic inspiration. From a basketball reputation perspective, no one's impact on the game has actively spanned more generations. Kobe's top 10 status remains one of basketball's most heated debates here in 2025. There's no way. I don't agree with this. He should be higher. He should be top 5. No way Kobe's outside of the top 10, for sure. But he should be a top 5. He's top 5 in my book. At number 10, they have Steph Curry. I don't think, I love Steph Curry. He's one of my favorite players. And I think he's changed the game as a whole when it comes to three-point shooting. I definitely think he's changed the game. Do I think he's better than Kobe? No, I don't think so. That's wild to me. And again, I'm a Steph Curry fan. I don't necessarily think he's better than Kobe. But let's read on. 4-time champion, 2-time MVP, 1-time Finals MVP, 11-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA, 2-time scoring champion, 1-time steal champion. They also didn't add in there clutch player of the year, I believe, if you consider that. But no active or recently active player has reshaped the game more than Stephen Curry. That includes greatest of all time candidate LeBron James. Billed for so long as the best shooter in the league history, Curry has proved to be so much more. He isn't the first NBA player with the gravity to suck in entire defenses. But he is the first to leverage that pull in so many different, exhaustive ways. His teams are better by virtue of him existing. The accolades speak for themselves. The circumstances under which they've come are less vociferous. I don't know. The Golden State Warriors have been fortunate enough to field numerous generational iterations, but none of them peak or even exist without Steph. His ability to play alongside anyone is scalpability beyond measure. Qualitatively and stylistically, he is one of one. I agree that Steph is a generational player, and he has changed the game, like I said. And I could even see him being lower than this. I just don't think he should be lower than Kobe. I'll stop beating to the doors. But at number 9, we have Wilt Chamberlain, 2-time champion, 4-time MVP, 1 Finals MVP, 10-time All-NBA, 13-time All-Star, 7 scoring titles, 2 All-Defensive, and NBA Rookie of the Year. He averaged 30.1 points per game, 22.9 rebounds per game, 4.4 assists per game, and shot 54.0 field goal percentage. Chamberlain began his career by averaging 36 37.6 points and 27 rebounds for the Philadelphia Warriors in 1959 and 1960. Winning Rookie of the Year and MVP 2 seasons later, he averaged 48.5 minutes and put up 50.4 points per game. My gosh. He scored 100 points on March 2nd, 1962. He grabbed 55 rebounds on November 24th, 1960. He played 63 minutes in a game twice on December 8th, 1961 and February 2nd, 1969. Nobody has more baffling single game or full season numbers than Wilt. In 1967-68, he made a conscious effort to lead the league in assists. Like just before, his 702 total dimes were more than anyone else handed out. The unfathomable stats speak to Chamberlain's The unfathomable stats speak to Chamberlain's physical dominance. He was simply on an athletic level no one had ever reached, a combination of size, strength, and dexterity that a fledgling NBA couldn't contain. Averaging 37.6 points and 27 rebounds is insane. Now, wasn't this before the NBA implemented goaltending? I want to say this happened before that, not to take away from his greatness, because he's clearly great, but I do think this was before the NBA implemented goaltending, or like the 5-second violation of sitting in the below. I could be wrong, but maybe. At number 8, we have Larry Bird, 3-time champion, 3-time MVP, 2-time Finals MVP, NBA Rookie of the Year, 12-time All-Star, 10-time All-NBA, 3-time All-Defensive. Other legends have cobbled together longer careers. Larry Bird's 13-year tenure is nevertheless among the most influential. He was the stretch playmaking big before there was a stretch playmaking bigs. His exploits from three-point range were revolutionary, and they would have fit like a glove inside today's NBA. Never the most explosive on the floor, Bird always knew how to leverage his size on the defensive end. His capacity to fill the stat sheet from so many different angles remains largely unprecedented. LeBron James and Scottie Pippen are the only other members of the 5,000 assist club who have also made as many threes and racked up as many blocks as Bird did for his career. At number 7, we have Tim Duncan, 5-time champion, 2-time MVP, 3-time Finals MVP, 15-time All-NBA, 15-time All-Star, 15-time All-Defensive. Yeah, that makes sense, I reckon. I feel like he was one of those, like, dominating players. Yeah. At number 6, you have Shaquille O'Neal. 4-time champion, 1-time MVP, 3-time Finals MVP, 1993 Rookie of the Year, 15-time All-Star, 15-time All-NBA, 3-time All-Defensive, 2-time scoring champion. Shaquille O'Neal averaged 23.7 points per game, 10.9 rebounds per game, 2.5 assists per game, 2.3 blocks per game, and had a 58.2 shooting field goal percentage. Yeah, Shaq was dominant. He was insane. What happens when the unstoppable force is the immovable object? That would be Shaquille O'Neal. There has perhaps never been a more imposing possession-by-possession force. Earlier, Shaq is probably the closest comp we have to a peak Zion Williamson who plays defense. To a peak Zion Williamson, I don't think comparison to peak Zion Williams. I don't think that's a comparison. Even in the later years, as his conditioning came under fire, he remained unguardable on the block and when going downhill. To call him overpowering would be a disservice. So many of his offensive touches felt completely hopeless for the defense. Many believe Shaq's all-time standing would be higher if he maintained a more maniacal approach to preparation throughout his prime. Perhaps that is true. Whatever you think of his work ethic, lasting in the NBA for nearly 2 decades qualifies as overwhelming longevity. And it says a great deal about his immovable unstoppability that his 58.3% clip on twos to the day ranks as the highest among everyone to tally at least 25,000 career points. Yeah, Shaq was pretty dominant. I'm okay with this ranking. Pretty dominant. Number 5, you have Bill Russell, 11-time NBA champion, 5-time MVP, 11-time All-NBA, 12-time All-Star, 4-time rebounding titles, 4 rebounding titles. All you can do is dominate the players in front of you, and nobody did that more thoroughly than Russell. The greatest defensive player of all time, Russell carried the Boston Celtics to 11 championships in his 13 seasons. Yes, the league was different back then, but Boston's success still counts, and every bit of it owes to Russell's presence. The Celtics were terrible on offense during his career, posting offensive ratings below the league average in all but one of his 13 seasons. The 2 times they ranked dead last in offense, they still won rings. A dozen times, Boston's defense was the best in the league. Its worst finish was number 2 in 1967-68. Blocks and steals weren't recorded during Russell's career, but the championships speak for themselves. That's wild that they had such bad offenses and yet still won the championships. It goes to show defense wins championships. That's wild. At number 4, we have Magic Johnson. He was a 5-time champion, 3-time MVP, 3-time Finals MVP, 12-time All-Star, 10-time All-NBA, 4-time assist champion, 2-time steal champion. At number 3, we have Kareem AbdulJabbar. He was a 6-time champion, 6-time MVP, 2-time Finals MVP, 15-time All-NBA, 19-time All-Star, 11-time All-Defense, NBA Rookie of the Year, and 2 scoring titles. He averaged 24.6 points per game, 11.2 rebounds per game, 3.6 assists per game, 2.6 blocks per game, and he had a 55.9 field goal percentage. The all-time leader in scoring until LeBron James surpassed him in 2024, AbdulJabbar paired excessive counting stats and longevity with an extended prime that produced an unmatched 6 MVP awards, including a number 3 finish following his rookie year with the Milwaukee Bucks in 1969-70. AbdulJabbar ranked no lower than 5th in MVP voting in each of his first dozen NBA campaigns. He paired the trio of MVPs he won in Milwaukee with 3 more as a Los Angeles Laker. Kareem's 15,837 field goals are still top of all-time list. Don't forget the skyhook, a signature shot no one has managed to replicate for half a century. The goggles, the social consciousness, and the willingness to accept a secondary role to Magic Johnson late in his career are just a few parts of a career-long story that almost no one else can touch. Alright, here we go. Who's going to be number 2 on this list? Will it be LeBron James or Michael Jordan? Let's find out. Number 2, LeBron James. I'm a bit surprised by that, to be honest. I thought they were is a 4-time champion, 4-time MVP, 4-time Finals MVP, 21-time All-NBA, 21-time All-Star, 6-time All-Defense, 1 scoring title, 1-time assist champion, and Rookie of the Year. LeBron James has averaged 27 points per game, 7.5 rebounds per game, 7.4 assists per game, 1.5 steal per game, and averages 50.6 field goal percentage and a 34.9 3-point percentage. There's no question you'd have 2 Hall of Famers if you split James' career in half, and we're reaching the point now where we might almost be able to say the same thing if you chopped it up into thirds. The league's all-time leader in points and minutes, James has made a total of 10 trips to the finals with 3 different teams. He's one of 4 players with at least 4 championship rings and 4 MVP awards, joining Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, and Kareem AbdulJabbar. And James is the only player who can say he came out victorious in the finals against both the dynastic Spurs and Warriors teams of the 2010s. A genius-level passer, a dominant scorer, a flaw-free defender at his apex, and the new model for durability in the NBA. James has the sheer volume, elite peak, and culture impact of a GOAT. If he's your number 1 of all time, you won't find much pushback here. It's that close between him and MJ. Listen, I can definitely see the argument of him being the number 1 and him being the GOAT. I just think for me, what it comes down to is impact on the game. Not saying he hasn't had a huge impact on the game. I just think Jordan has had a bigger impact on the game. And being to 10 championships and only coming away with 4 is a knock against him. I do think that's a knock against him. With one of those championships I talked about in the other video, I don't think the Lakers championship should count. I think there should be an asterisk with that. I think that should be its own little category, because I think the way the bubble was set up changes the whole dynamic of the NBA, and changes the whole, just changes the dynamic to where it's not even really a finals, and there was so much going on during that time. I just don't think it should be in the same sphere as an actual NBA championship. So, I know it's an unpopular opinion, but that's mine. Anyway, LeBron James ranked number 2 on here, so to come to number 1, it is none other than Michael Jordan. What if it was just some rando? What if they had like JJ Barea on here or something crazy? Michael Jordan, number 1. Let's look at the top accolades. 6-time champion, 5-time MVP, 6-time Finals MVP, 11-time All-NBA, 14-time All-Star, 9-time defensive, All-Defense, 1-time Defense Player of the Year, NBA Rookie of the Year, 10 scoring titles. Michael Jordan averaged 30.1 points per game, 6.2 rebounds per game, 5.3 assists per game, 2.3 steals per game, at a 49.7 field goal percentage and 32.7 3-point percentage. Michael Jordan is generally accepted as the GOAT, owning the highest career scoring average in NBA history and a perfect 6 of 6 performance in the finals. But his legacy goes beyond the stats and even the awards. From a cultural standpoint, nobody ever meant more to basketball than MJ. From his signature shoe to becoming the sport's most elite competitor, Jordan established a blueprint for the NBA superstars who followed him. Virtually every alpha in the modern era pulled something from Jordan. Kobe Bryant cribbed MJ's work ethic and on-court demeanor. LeBron James borrowed 6 for 6 in the finals. And he took a few years off to go play baseball. Imagine if he didn't take those years off and he continued to play, what his stats would look like. So, yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think my biggest gripe with this list is Kobe Bryant being outside of the top 10. I thought he should have been in the top 5. The fact that he's not is wild to me, but what are you going to do? And again, there were some other players I probably would have moved around, but at the end of the day, I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy on the outside looking in who knows very little about basketball compared to, I'm sure some of you guys and these so-called experts for Bleacher Report. So, there you have it. That is the Bleacher Report's top 100 best NBA players of all time. Let me know what you think of the list, how you would switch it around, who you think the GOAT is, and who would be your top 5 NBA players. Let me know down in the comments. As always, I appreciate you guys,